The Tommy Campbell Show. Don Jr. has spent a decade trying to be the ultimate MAGA mouthpiece, yet his father treats his wedding like a mandatory corporate seminar he's trying to find a loophole to skip.
Are you attending your son's wedding this weekend, by the way?
He'd like me to go, but it's going to be just a small little private affair, and I'm going to try and make it. I'm in the midst. I said, you know, this is not good timing for me. I have a thing called Iran and other things. That's one I can't win on. If I do attend, I get killed. If I don't attend, I get killed. By the fake news, of course, I'm talking about. No, but he's got a very person who I've known for a long time. And
first off, still stunned that Trump didn't turn around and try and twist that belly nipple or go for a little drink. Whoever put that thing in a frame next to Trump was definitely trolling. Couple of wonky looking boobs. Now this guy has golfed nearly every week, hitting the links for over 22% of his presidency, but he's potentially too busy for his son's wedding. If I go, I get killed. If I don't go, I get killed. You are not navigating a hostage crisis. You are RSVPing to a destination wedding. Nobody's going to kill you for eating a piece of cake in the Bahamas. Yes, Don Jr. is getting married to a person Trump's known for a long time, but couldn't even say her name, Bettina Anderson. That's not how you introduce a daughter-in-law, a person I've known for a long time. That's how you write a recommendation letter for a summer intern you met twice in the hallway. Subscribe. For starters, Don Jr. got together with Bettina while still engaged to Kimberly Guilfoyle, you know, because it's the party of family values. Don Jr. didn't just move on, he moved on with a prominent Florida socialite while his dad literally gave his ex-fiancée a diplomatic passport and a one-way ticket to Athens to clear the deck. And you know what I think? A lot of it was paying her off. In case you forgot, she was married to Gavin Newsom, and he and Trump are pretty vocal about each other. If she flips like MTG, she doesn't just write a tell-all book. She has the phone number of the most powerful Democrat in California right in her contacts. Now, does Donald not care about weddings since he's had 3? Does he not care about kids because he's had 5? That's even counting Tiffany. Using the war he started as an excuse is pretty funny, and having a wedding in the Bahamas is on brand for the Make America Great Again family. The same people pushing an out-of-spec, wildly overpriced, repackaged, made-in-China phone with a flag with the wrong number stripes can't find somewhere beautiful in the USA to tie the knot. I'm sure Don Jr.'s location of choice is Coke Mountain, but he chose a beach. I looked it up. A flight from Palm Beach to Nassau is under an hour, so it's not like it's a massive inconvenience.
Don Jr.'s getting married and I'm not going. No interest in his wedding at all. My sister Ivanka is coming and she might wear a thong. It is a beach wedding. She's going to be in a hot bikini, and my low IQ father, he completely didn't consider this when he said he was too busy to come to my wedding. So we're going to be cheersing with straws instead of champagne. Kid Rock is actually going to be doing all the music. Lauren Boebert's going to be shaking hands, if you know what I mean. It's going to be crazy. Even Ronnie Jackson is going to be there with a special fort and a bottle of nitroglycerin. We'll remember this day for years. Like Pete Hegseth is actually flying over an artist to give everyone questionable Christian tattoos. FBI Director Kash Patel is bringing the Slumdog Millionaire custom bourbon, and RFK Jr. is going to be doing a Maha meal. He's going to be catering the whole thing in jeans, no t-shirt.
This week, Donald Trump achieved what every person sitting in an accountant's office dreams of. He got a hall pass from the IRS. While you are trying to digitize that crumpled receipt from a $14 lunch 3 months ago, Trump, Don Jr., Eric, and the Trump Organization just got a settlement tied to their IRS lawsuit that blocks the government from pursuing certain old tax claims, audits, appeals, or examinations connected to Trump, his family, and his businesses. This is not normal. This is the rich guy equivalent of putting duct tape over the check engine light. And the whole thing started because Trump sued the IRS over the leak of his tax records, where all the other presidents just made their tax records public. They didn't have to try and shield them. So now the president is settling a lawsuit against a government agency that works under the executive branch he controls. It's like getting drunk, crashing a golf cart into a porta potty, making your caddy the insurance adjuster, and somehow walking away with a trophy and the keys to the clubhouse. While the tax man is acting like Sherlock Holmes over your missing Uber receipt, Trump got a document that basically says, "Don't look at me, I'm special." Don Jr.'s probably going to put his in a glass case and wear it around his neck like Jake Paul's Pokemon card. And of course, they couldn't just settle this with a normal number. They had to create a $1.776 billion anti-weaponization fund for innocent victims of federal overreach. It is insane. January 6 defendants and Trump allies are already eyeing the money, and we're not talking about like a free Trump shirt and a $100 gift card. Some of these people are looking for millions. They got pardoned for violently trying to overturn a free and fair election, and now they're treating the aftermath like they hit the MAGA Powerball. Congratulations, you attacked democracy. Would you like that in annual installments or one lump sum?
I think it's stupid on stilts.
Why?
Because it will invariably put us in a position where your taxpayer dollars and my taxpayer dollars could potentially compensate someone who assaulted a police officer, admitted their guilt, got convicted, got pardoned, and now we're going to pay them for that? That's absurd. The American people are going to reject this out of hand. When you take money from me to give to a purpose that I vehemently disagree with, that's tyranny, and that's what that account is.
Giving anyone who is even there a penny is too much, okay? Stupid on stilts, that's a new one, at least for me, and it's bang on. But not everyone is against the lunacy. Satan's butt plug was quick to defend the payouts.
We lived through 4 years of, more than 4 years actually, but I'll just say 4 years in this case, of unimaginable weaponization of the federal government against innocent people. We've had so many lives, again, it really goes back, so I would say further, but so many lives destroyed, so many livelihoods ruined, so many people who were deprived of their fundamental rights and freedoms as American citizens. And this settlement is just a small measure of the justice that they are owed. Anyways, thank you all for your time.
Stephen Miller standing there calling a massive taxpayer payout a small measure of justice. They've completely rebranded a chaotic riot into a corporate slip and fall lawsuit. They don't look at January 6 as a failed insurrection anymore. They look at it like they tripped over a wet floor sign at Costco and now they're entitled to cashback rewards and a multi-million-dollar settlement from the manager. Gavin Newsom posted this. Voldemort says every Death Eater who beat a cop and tried to subvert democracy deserves a slice of a $1.8 billion payout and a pardon. Capitol Police officers Harry Dunn and Daniel Hodges are suing to stop the fund because they say it could reward the same people who attacked the Capitol. Even Mitch McConnell weighed in.
So the nation's top law enforcement official is asking for a slush fund to pay people who assault cops. Utterly stupid, morally wrong. Take your pick. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to get off camera and return to my office before I freeze or fall. It's actually movie night, so I need some time to select which VHS Peter North classic I will screen for Mrs. McChow. I'm currently leaning towards Encino housewife hookers, but I am partial to car wash angels.
I make this independent show on my own. If you love what I do, consider leaving me a tip, become a member for extras, hit up my referral links, and stream my stand-up on Spotify.
You're the nation's top law enforcement official right now. Would you be okay with people who were convicted of hurting police getting taxpayer money?
Just to be clear, people that hurt police get money all the time. Okay, there's a process where if you believe you have your rights violated, you can apply for funds, you can sue, you can file a claim, you can go to court. In some of those cases, the state, the government, the federal government settles those cases. It's abhorrent to ever touch a law enforcement officer, which is why anytime anybody does that, and it's a federal officer, we'll prosecute them. But that's a completely different question with whether an individual is allowed to apply for a claim, whether they'll get a claim.
He declares that hurting a cop is abhorrent and a severe federal crime and then quickly flips to, but that's a completely different question from whether they should get a check. He's going for his back the blue pin while simultaneously explaining how those that attack the Capitol could get a massive financial windfall. It's also a crime that this guy shares a last name with my favorite Golden Girl. You know Rue McClanahan, who played Blanche Devereaux, was 51 years old when the show premiered, and Todd Blanche, born in 1974, is also 51. One was renting rooms and running a Miami art museum, and the other is helping Trump run a Ponzi scheme. The watchdog group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington found that at least 33 pardoned January 6 defendants have been rearrested, charged, or sentenced in other cases since the Capitol attack. So it's pretty clear Trump wiped the slate clean for a lot of people who are not exactly auditioning for the next Mr. Rogers reboot. Here's a few members of Trump's pardon class who reminded everyone why background checks exist. Zachary Allen was one of the guys at the Speaker's lobby doors on January 6 after Trump's pardon. He was later sentenced to 7 years for a Virginia burglary. Yes, that's not Law and Order, it's Law and Reorder My Sentence. Ryan Nichols pleaded guilty in his January 6 case after assault-related charges involving police. After the pardon, he was jailed in Texas on deadly conduct and harassment charges after allegedly displaying a firearm during a church parking lot dispute. Like, nothing says love thy neighbor like turning the church parking lot into a deleted scene from Roadhouse. Christopher Monahan rifled through desks in the Senate chamber on January 6th, then later faced charges after allegedly threatening to kill Hakeem Jeffries. He didn't even change the workflow. The government gave him a clean slate and he immediately treated his phone like a federal evidence printer. Jake Lang built one of the loudest political prisoner brands from January 6th. Then after the pardon, he was linked to new legal trouble involving an anti-ice sculpture with his hilarious alpha male performance. Oh, I just love this. And alleged threats towards an officer from January 6th. And then there's Matthew Huddle, the darkest example. He'd been pardoned for his January 6th case and days later was fatally shot during a traffic stop after authorities said there was an altercation and he had a firearm. That is the predictable result of telling unstable people they are heroes, victims, and martyrs all at once. And now the same political universe that wiped the slate clean wants a taxpayer-backed fund for anti-weaponization. Even George Santos, George Santos, Katara, DeVolder, Goldbergstein. He's circling this thing. He hilariously says he doesn't want compensation, just an apology, which is perfect because if anyone knows how to submit a fictional claim, it's George Santos. In a satirical letter to Attorney General Blanche, CNN host Jim Acosta noted how the first Trump administration actively took steps to destroy my career, and therefore he should be able to get some cold, hard slush fund cash. In 2018, Acosta had his press pass revoked by the White House after he confronted Trump about his comments regarding a migrant caravan. The president claimed the caravan heading from Central America to the border amounted to an invasion, despite it being hundreds of miles away. Speaking of caravans, they were the main selling point for Nigel Farage during Brexit, and right now, over in the UK, King Charles was in Newcastle when a seagull dropped a deuce on him. That's no small splash. His Savile Row suit got hit by a sky rat and he just carried on. You'd think he would have someone to swoop in and switch the coats, but the king just continued with the meet and greet. The handlers they're trained for assassination attempts and crowd control, but nobody has a protocol for crap hawks. It's weird when I saw this because I was thinking about it when I lived in the UK. I got crapped on by birds all the time or saw others get hit. Seriously, like, is it just because there's so many statues and monuments? I don't know, but I was in Scotland on the way to a comedy show and I got one on the side of my head and on my coat. I rushed into a corner store for something to wipe it up with, and the shopkeeper, who I have to say was Chinese, and when I asked if she had paper towels or tissue for the bird crap on my head and my coat, she just freaked out and said, "You don't need napkin, you need lottery ticket." Yes, in some cultures, getting pooped on by a bird is widely considered good luck because according to Chinese astrology, bird droppings landing on your head or hand are categorized as Tianjiang Hencai, which translates to wealth descending from heaven. This may sound lovely, but it's not a dove in a John Woo film. It's a Scottish coastal seagull. It's not delivering wealth. It's dropping a half-digested, deep-fried piece of fish from a dumpster behind a pub. She's telling me to choose 6 numbers, and I'm standing there looking like a statue in Trafalgar Square thinking, I got to be on stage in 15 minutes. And was King Charles, is he in need of wealth? Is that why it crapped on him? Ridiculous. This guy is a traitor troll. There is a place for him in Gitmo. These freedom-loving patriots are so deeply broken by a few punchlines that their immediate reaction is, put that guy in a cage in Cuba next to the Taliban. Like, nothing says I love the First Amendment quite like demanding comedians should be swapping their mic and stage for an orange jumpsuit in a cell next to terrorists. MAGA tears. When Trump finishes his term, you will all answer to President Vance. So expect to see VDS everywhere. There's just so much stupid to unpack here. For starters, everywhere one word includes an H, great Fleetwood Mac song. You're screaming about a new political era under Vance with an S? JD has changed his name a lot, but last time I checked, he still spells Vance with a C, which ironically happens to be the exact same consonant that fronts the four-letter word that perfectly describes Trump, Vance, and yourself. Let's talk about VDS. You guys have spent a decade screaming TDS at regular people, and the absolute peak of your creative rebranding is just to swap the first letter to a V. You're so desperate to invent a new syndrome to own the liberals that you completely overlook the fact that you just attach JD Vance to VDS, VDs, something you catch after a weekend with Lauren Boebert. MAGA tears.
The cardboard box and select which Peter North classic Encino housewife hookers. What is that about?
They look at it like they tripped over a wet floor slide.
We have a cardboard box full of these tapes, and sometimes it's a lucky dip. I just reach in and I pull up whatever is in my hand. Last time I did this, we got a film called Face Jam.
And now they're entitled to cashback rewards and a multi-million-dollar seller. I'm having so much trouble today.
I can confirm the Tommy Campbell Show is the best political comedy show on YouTube. And I hope you subscribe.